In this video, we will be going to both the poorest and the richest place in Pittsburgh.
Right up this street is the biggest house in Western Pennsylvania.
We started by visiting a homeless encampment under an underpass downtown.
It was a dude dead in his tent from an overdose.
Okay, so we're driving along the highway and we spotted in an underpass, kind of gated off, a huge homeless encampment. We gotta go. It's down here underneath the underpass.
Pittsburgh has a homeless population reportedly of 1,000. It's up substantially over the last couple of years, and the city's now addressing it. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette called it a homeless crisis. They just passed an $8.3 million measure to try to curb it.
Upon first impression, the camp was cleaner and more orderly than we had expected.
What are your guys' names?
I'm Antonio.
I'm Jose.
How long have you guys lived in Pittsburgh?
About 2 years.
Where did you guys live before?
Back home in New York City.
Caused you to move from the Bronx to Pittsburgh?
Cost of living is the first gig. Just wanted a different lifestyle. You can raise my daughters in a place where it's more of a better environment for them. Because I've been outside for so long. Well, now when we go in here, it's more like, okay, this is a roof over my head. Yeah, I was actually one of the originals here.
Clean down here.
Yeah, because we done ran people off for being dirty. Just because you're homeless doesn't mean you have to look homeless or be dirty.
Exactly.
Generally, why would you live in a tent instead of in a shelter?
Because shelters are terrible. Have you stayed at Second Avenue before?
No, I haven't.
I caught COVID there 3 times in 2020. Rules, bro. Like it feels like you're being controlled.
And like you gotta be in by a certain time. Not everybody agrees with that. Like we're adults, we wanna like do stuff still.
Our jobs, for example, we're used to working night shifts.
What do you guys do?
We're Taco Bell. I was at Taco Bell. You know what I'm saying? We were working fast food and we're working overnights because that's where the hours and the money's at. And they would complain and bitch and moan and complain that we're not utilizing our bed enough, or we're not there enough, or some dumb shit like that. If I want to go to bed, I don't have to deal with anybody else making noise and talking.
Would you say you guys are here voluntarily, by choice?
At the beginning, it was definitely voluntarily by choice. Me, I just wanted like to save money, like the best way I can.
Volunteers revealed widespread use of xylazine, aka trank, among Pittsburgh's homeless community.
We've had xylazine here for probably about the last year and a half. We got it pretty fast, unfortunately. There seems to be a fast track from whatever Philly gets, we get a couple days later.
Why do people use xylazine?
Xylazine adds to the sedative effect that is with the opiates, almost as like an extra kicker.
Xylazine is an issue out here.
Never heard of that?
Like trank?
Those are drugs.
Yeah.
What you do behind your tent is your business. Like, bro, I don't found dead people out here in tents.
Really?
Yes, 100%. On this trail here, before anybody got here, it was a dude dead in his tent from an overdose.
What was somewhat surprising was that people had moved from all sorts of places across the country, like the women we met next.
My husband was verbally abusive. He gave me a 10-day vacate notice after I found out about cheating with another woman. He had me to the point of almost killing myself before I left. I'm working with the court systems because I own a house, but I have to get the people out of it. Being homeless with no money, there is actually no support if you're a plaintiff in a case.
So what do you do?
Right now I'm scrounging for any bit of cash I can get. I'm in like a rock and a hard space. I can't get the people out without money. I don't have money being on the street. Hard to get a job when you're trying to survive every day.
Willing to share your story at all?
Mine's pretty simple. I lost my job in West Virginia. There's not a lot of resources in West Virginia. After that, I couldn't find another job and the bills and the rent got too much and I lost everything.
Oh my goodness.
And at the time, there was no shelters up there because they're all full. So an outreach team from West Virginia brought me here and I've been trying to get on my feet ever since. Like, I have a job interview tomorrow. It's just, I wish there was more shelters that were open around here. That way we don't have this.
As we finished our conversation, a screaming match broke out.
You know what? I'm telling you now. You better stay the fuck out of my
Matt, you're screaming and yelling and everybody can hear you. Like,
shut the fuck up!
no! Make me shut the fuck up! Make me!
Moments later, a family approached on the bike trail that ran through the encampment. They stopped, turned around, and went back to the other side of Pittsburgh. Next, we visited Braddock, which, by some metrics, is Pennsylvania's poorest city, with a median household income of just $25,000 and a poverty rate of 30%. Braddock is a perfect example of the change that's come to Pittsburgh. In 1875 is where Andrew Carnegie built his first steel mill in the United States. Today, that steel mill still exists, and the sounds of its chugging and churning are ever present. Once you get close to the factory, you can hear the clinking of metal and see the fires burning inside. Yet the factory employs a fraction as many people as it did, and abandoned buildings are everywhere in the city. A combination of lost jobs, a financial crisis, and the crack epidemic really destroyed the community. Still, the city has kind of a charm, with people lounging around outside enjoying the summer night, many smoking or drinking. Our next video will be a deeper dive into Braddock, so subscribe to watch that. Lastly, we visited Swickley Heights, Pittsburgh's wealthiest suburb, with a median household income of $230,000 and a median home value of $950,000. This is where Penguins and Steelers players live, the most successful business people in the area, and others with a lot of money. Right now, we're headed to a street where Mario Lemieux of the Pittsburgh Penguins lives. After this, we're gonna head up to see the biggest house in Western Pennsylvania. Interestingly enough, it was the first place in the city that we saw Democratic signs.
So like a lot of industrial towns, even when industry leaves, the money doesn't, the old money that is. I mean, the Carnegies and the Mellons brought immense wealth to this area. Wow, look at that. Unbelievable.
Back here, you look at the pool, putting green. Not even putting green, I mean, that looks like it's a... All right, right up this street is the biggest house in Western Pennsylvania. Would you say 30?
I think it's 33,000 square feet with 17 bathrooms and 12 bedrooms.
So this is the biggest house in Western Pennsylvania. 33,000 feet.
Best part is that the current owner is in jail right now for tax fraud.
Way.
Joe Moncito. For dodging $15 million in taxes. Now, I don't know about you, but when I see a house this big, I think this guy's got integrity.
Pittsburgh is no longer the steel capital of America, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have wealth and prosperity. It does. It's just in a different form now. More white collar than blue collar, and more like other cities and less like the Rust Belt. More videos coming from here, so stay tuned, including our next one from Braddock, a place that could decide the outcome of the 2024 election, for reasons we'll explain in the next video.